Well, it looks like the big business billionaire power couple of Elon Musk and Donald J. Trump have finally broken up. And let's just say, it's not looking good, bruv.
It's not looking good.
Oh man, the girls are fighting, aren't they?
You are now listening to Pree Da Production with your host, Majaro.
What is up, my tribal people? Welcome back to another video on the Pree Da Production YouTube channel. I'm your tribal chief, Majaro, aka Midge. And you already know what I'm going to say. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to grow the community, and by sharing this with your friends and family, that goes a long way in helping us do that. Now, let's get into the video. Boy, it looks like the girlies are fighting. It looks like Elon Musk and Donald Trump have parted ways like Moses in the Red Sea. They have gone their separate ways. And for those who don't know about this relationship, let me break it down for you. Donald J. Trump and Elon Musk first were flirting with each other on X, formerly known as Twitter. You know, I like some of his policies. I think, you know, Trump would be a great president. I think we could work great together, make America great again. And that's when it started to kick off. They started going on a campaign trail together, super endorsements. You know, Tesla stocks were going through the roof. Donald Trump's popularity and approval ratings with a lot of demographics, especially his core audience, went through the roof. The Tesla tech boys and the MAGA mafia linked up and they were tied like mob ties. They were literally moving like the mafia together. It was wild. The amount of influence them two had together got him to be a president again. Elon will probably say, you know, I helped him. If it wasn't for me, he would not be a president. But he finally gets elected, wins all that celebrations. Elon Musk is right there beside him. They're literally family dinners. It's wild. They're moving like a super couple at this point. Like a big billionaire, businessman, big business power couple. Families intertwined and everything. Even though Elon Musk has got about 20 different families, but you know, that's another story for another day. He gets a special office, a special department, Doge, a department for governmental efficiency. And with that power, he was slashing everything, slashing aid. Why are we sending, you know, 200,000 to this country for aid, for literally just a lot of infrastructural stuff for other countries, a lot of learning stuff, a lot of schemes and aids for other countries. And then he's like, America should be calling back those aids and keeping it for ourselves and aiding our people. He was saying stuff like, you know, there's a lot of inefficiencies, there's a lot of departments that are over bloated, and what are all these people doing? Send me a dossier of your day-to-day work and why you're important. After all that upheaval, a lot of people were dissatisfied. A lot of their family, friends were being fired, essentially. Like it was the apprentice, you're fired. Like, people's jobs were being taken away, made redundant. A lot of protests, a lot of workforce was unhappy. A lot of stuff was in chaos. And eventually they rescheduled, slimmed down. A lot of people were like, yo, this amount of cuts in this short time is going to have effects not only for this presidency, but future presidencies and other administrations, because there's just not going to be enough people to do what needs to be done. A lot of stuff that we're seeing fine now, you know, everything's running smooth now, but in a couple of years when there's a skill gap or whatever and a man shortage, we're going to be feeling it. And we're going to be like, oh, what happened to that department? Weren't they supposed to be looking after, I don't know, fire and all this stuff? Oh, actually, they got caught a couple of years ago in the Trump administration, and now we're suffering. That's a lot of people were predicting that would happen. But he was able to do what he wanted to do. And not only that, he was very influential in a lot of bills and a lot of legislation that was being drafted. And when it came to this big, beautiful bill, when it comes to rebudgeting everything in the purse strings of the government and where things are going to go. The amount of money Elon allegedly saved in these cuts that Doge were making, apparently that just got lobbed on to this new bill. He's saying, this is a great, fantastic job we've done. I can't do the accent. I'm sorry. I wish I could, because that accent is absolutely iconic. Donald J. Trump's voice is chef's kiss. It's so memeable. But he said, we've done a fantastic job, and this big beautiful bill is going to be able to stimulate the economy and reinstill trust in our government and our infrastructure, and it's going to increase spending, and it's going to be better for the American people, even though Donald J. Trump has been putting taxes and tariffs on a lot of things that are affecting the everyday people. But the big billionaires, not so much. But, he wants to brush that to the side and say, let's focus on this one that's going to, help us allegedly stimulate the economy right now. But in future generations, they're going to have to be dealing with the debt and everything. It's just kicking the can down the road, in my opinion. And Elon, after he left, called it out. He wasn't having it, even though he was in administration and he was fine with everything. But once they parted ways because they started to disagree on a lot of things, especially when it comes to energy and electricity and subsidies. And let's have a look at some of the things that they're fighting over.
So I was wrong. I'll admit that. Because Donald Trump and Elon Musk are now openly taking huge shots at one another. Like, this doesn't look like the end of the honeymoon phase. This looks like they went straight to divorce. And I just did not see that happening, at least for a few years. Like, when you drop over $200 million to get a guy elected, you think, okay, they're gonna be on the same page. Right now, what we're seeing is a lot of it boiling down to the fact that Musk is just not happy about Trump's big, beautiful bill and how much it'll increase America's debt. Because as we've talked about, some estimates claim that it'll go up by $3 trillion. With Musk then calling the bill a disgusting abomination and writing yesterday, this spending bill contains the largest increase in the debt ceiling in U.S. history. It is the debt slavery bill. And that, it's just a small taste of what he's been throwing out there. Musk has been nonstop posting about this for the past 24 hours. And while Trump had largely remained silent, it appears that it had gotten under his skin, with him now saying things like,
"You saw a man who was very happy when he stood behind the Oval desk. And even with the black eye, I said, do you want a little makeup? We'll get you a little makeup." But he said, no, I don't think so, which is interesting. Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore.
with Trump then going on to add,
They picked him. I would have won Pennsylvania. I won it by a lot. But I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here. Better than you people.
One of the things that was wild is that while Trump was doing that, Elon was actually replying, right? Writing things like, without me, Trump would have lost the election, Dems would control the House, and the Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate. Such ingratitude. Trump then went on to claim that Musk was only mad about the bill because EV spending was cut and that would cost him billions of dollars, to which Musk replied, whatever, keep the EV solar incentive cuts in the bill, even though no oil and gas subsidies are touched. Very unfair, but ditch the mountain of disgusting pork in the bill. In the entire history of civilization, there has never been legislation both big and beautiful. Everyone knows this. Either you get a big and ugly bill or a slim and beautiful bill. Slim and beautiful is the way. You then also had Trump claiming that none of this should have been a surprise to Musk.
He knew every aspect of this bill. He knew it better than almost anybody. And he never had a problem until right after he left.
However, you had Musk denying knowing anything about the bill and pointing out that it was released and passed so fast that even members of Congress didn't read it. Now we're at the stage where Musk is digging up old Trump tweets and reposting them, where you had Trump.
Wow. He's really crashing out. He's really crashing out.
Criticizing large spending bills and writing things like, wise words. And where is the man who wrote these words? Was he replaced by a body double? Where is this guy today? And then, in classic Elon Musk fashion, he put out a poll about whether to start a new political party that represents the 80% in the middle. Which, hey, I think would be a very, very interesting test. Though I'm not even sure Musk's vast wealth could break the two-party system in the United States. With all that said, as far as the here and now, we're gonna have to wait to see where this goes, but just give my opinion. I am personally gonna just sit back, get some popcorn, and enjoy the show, because this looks like it's gonna get so nasty. Literally, as I filmed that line, Donald Trump just put out, the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. And adding, Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy, which was followed by Musk dropping possibly the biggest bomb he could, writing, Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. He then also added that because Trump threatened to cancel Musk's government contracts, SpaceX was going to start decommissioning Dragon spacecraft immediately. Not to mention that he's been making statements like agreeing that Trump should be impeached and replaced by Vance, or that Trump's tariffs will lead to a recession this year. This Trump has also led to Tesla's stock plummeting, and for his part, Trump added that he doesn't mind Elon turned against him, but he should have done so months ago. And at the same time, Trump's allies have been lashing out. Steve Bannon, of course, has long been critical of Musk, and now he's demanding that Musk actually be deported because he thinks that Musk lied to stay in the US, which actually isn't a new claim because it's long been suspected that Musk worked on his company in the 90s rather than being a student like his visa required. So yeah, buckle up, enjoy the ride, and in the meantime, let me know your thoughts in those comments down below.
Yeah, it's looking really ugly. And on those Epstein's files, let's not forget, Donald J. Trump has been in public viewing since the early 90s through his family, through his businesses, and a lot of people had noticed that him and Epstein, for those years, up until like 2002, they were very close friends. Even Epstein said they were best friends at a point. Like, him being on the files is not strange. It's actually expected. There's been pictures of them together, numerous occasions. Like, they were boys on yachts, golfing trips, pictured together at parties with Playboy women. Like, come on. Him on those files must be some dirt on there. And let's be honest, Epstein was involved with everyone of the high class. Bill Clinton was one of his favorite alleged customers. Prince Andrew was one of his best friends. Donald Trump was one of his best friends. All these people are implicated. That's why no party in America has brought and declassified these files. The only thing they did was get some social media influencers to hold up the case files for information that we already knew. And a lot of it was heavily redacted. So, yo, this man is crashing out. Elon Musk is throwing everything, and Donald Trump is playing defense right now because this is gonna get really ugly. Editor Mitch here. Massive update on the story. Elon Musk has apologized to Donald Trump on X. For a man who got caught saying, I'm never gonna apologize, I said what I said. Someone called him out on his tweet saying, you're gonna regret this and you're gonna apologize next week. And he called him out and said, nope, that's not gonna happen. Come to see a week later, he falls like a pack of deck chairs. And yo, when it comes to these billionaires having these bullying brawls, there's only one thing that can stop it. That mullah baby. And you can already tell that some of the deals he made with Trump, some of the backhanders allegedly, and grants and discounts with government contracts that he would have gotten from working with Trump. Trump threatened to pull that away because he's paid like that. In fact, that's not even pay. That's just, free speech, free consequences. You can't just be out here talking wild on the mains about the world's most powerful, one of the world's most powerful leaders, Donald J. Trump, and get away with it. Nah, that wasn't going to happen. You weren't going to disrespect him like that. Talk about Epstein files. Those investigations came back in full swing against his companies, and he thought, yo, I better apologize. Sorry, the Don. I've got to take back and retract and say I regret. It wasn't really much of an apology, it was just a regret. But yeah, it came fast and it finished just as fast. What a distraction. There's a whole lot of legislative bandooly business that happened during this whole time. A lot of things that the news wasn't covering, but because they were covering this instead. And a massive distraction in our face. But back to you, me. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And as always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
I be killing all my foes, even though I got it all on my own. Success sweet, yeah.